I was sitting around up in Ithaca, New York in the studio with nothing to do, and that's where S.O.D came from. I started drawing Sergeant D.
Scott came up with this character of Sergeant D, and he's like, dude, you gotta draw this thing, this character. We originally wanted to do a comic book.
Charlie would draw it, and I would write it, and then I started writing these riffs and somehow it just clicked in my brain, and they became songs. Speaking of Should Die became a song, and Kill Yourself became a song. And then I called Ilker up.
I got a phone call in April 1985 from Scott.
And I said, dude, I've got these songs, it's not Anthrax. It's, it's more on a hardcore kind of thing.
And he said, dude, we're going to do this hardcore project, some of this really fast, intense stuff, and I'd like you to play on it.
And I really wanted to work with Danny again.
And I thought, well, that's cool, because I got to play with Scott and Charlie again. And we said, okay. And I went up to Ithaca, we wrote some songs.
We spent like the next 3-4 days, we wrote 10 more songs, and we had the whole album written in, 5 days or something like that.
And I said, who's going to sing? And it's like, you'll see.
And then we met Billy at CBGB's. He was in a band called Psychos. He was the only one at the time that would talk to people with long hair. I met those guys at CBGB's.
And it turned out there was like some skinhead dudes who wanted to beat us up, and Billy came up and said, there's some dudes in here who, they want to beat you up because you have long hair.
We prevented Scott and a couple of guys from Anthrax and Metallica getting beat up.
And I asked him, hey, can you sing? Do you want to sing for this album we're writing, S.O.D?
Yeah, Billy was a bass player. He wasn't really a singer or anything like that.
He goes, well, I can't sing, but, I can do it. I said, well, we don't want a singer, we just want you. And I just knew his attitude and his presence, and he was the one who would be able to carry off this character, this comic book, character on stage, and he literally became larger than life, and that's no pun intended, but, Billy was able to become that guy on stage and pull that off.
I remember the first time when we went to go up to do the record in Ithaca, New York with Alex Perialis. I remember Scotty and telling me about their manager and their record label, and here this guy pulls up in this car and picks me up to go upstate, his manager, Johnny Z, and he says to me, since I'm driving, you can pay for the gas. I felt that was like, what kind of record label is this? I'm paying for the gas to get up to do the fucking record.
It was quick. It was done really quick. It was just like bam, 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 bang it all out.
And we recorded it in 4 days in July. And the mixing session was 18 and a half hours long in one session.
We did the original record in 3 days because we had a budget that allotted us the time of 3 days.
I fell asleep during the recording, doing the mixing of Fuck the Middle East in the middle of the control room. I had dreams about bombing people.
There wasn't really much thought going into that record, which was a good thing. If there was a lot of thought, it probably would have sucked.
Next thing you know, we were hanging out we were mixing the shit going, this sounds pretty damn good. And I was in Washington Square Park with Scott and Rick Hunnell from Exodus. We had a boombox and we said, dude, you want to hear some new shit we did? And he goes, yeah. And I remember the expression on his face when he heard the guitar sound and the riffs. His eyes kind of bulged a little bit. And that's when we kind of realized that we created some kind of monster.
We went out and did 10 shows in '97, and we finished the last show in Hoboken, and which was supposedly going to be the last time we ever played. It was like Billy Milano's retirement show and all that crap. But we had so much fun, and Billy said to me that night, we should go do a record, and I said, nope.
I just wanted to keep S.O.D special and not have it, not saturated.
Why do a record? Why ruin it? That was my exact words to him. We just did these 10 gigs, it was great. S.O.D is a legend, like why ever do anything to take the chance of taking away from that, And it was like, fine, okay, And that was it, and we walked away from it. And then, I guess that just put the bug in me at that point. I just got the bug, and I called Billy, I said, look, I'm thinking about it. This is, 98 or something, a year later. I was like, dude, it's since a year ago, it's been kind of, it's stayed with me. And I think we should at least try, and see what happens. Me, Danny, and Charlie will get together in a room with no preconceived idea, and let's just see what happens the first day. And the first day we wrote 4 songs. We just walked in the room and started playing the stupidest things we could think of and started laughing. And we knew it was right. And we said, well, we are S.O.D. It's not like we have to try. It's just, when we get in the room together, we become S.O.D.
I think he got Billy involved, and it just all happened again, It's like, let's do it. And then before I knew it, I thought we were just going to do a record, and then the tour was booked, and it was like, what?
Well, we never really got broke up. It's just something we continued, just had the time to do it. We all have different parts of our careers going on. Anthrax is kind of like, was in between writing a record and touring. Danny Loker's band Brutal Truth broke up. My management company and my production and everything I do is doing really well, and I was afforded the opportunity to go out and play.
I guess it was time to do it. It was going to happen eventually.
So, the timing was right.